Welcome to this explainer. Look, if you're a CISO or sitting on a security architecture team, you are exactly where you need to be today. We are tackling something that's honestly pretty alarming, the very real, urgent threat of Intel ME and vPro unmanaged hardware. Today we're breaking down a draft risk assessment that exposes how completely untouched hardware can fundamentally compromise the integrity of your entire corporate network.
So think about the laptops sitting in your corporate fleet right this second. When they're powered off, are they actually electrically silent? Well, you've probably seen it, right? A laptop sitting in a desk drawer somehow drains its entire battery over a few weeks. That is modern standby doing its thing. To the user, the device looks totally dead, but under the hood, the subsystems are wide awake, just quietly operating in the shadows.
Here's how we're going to break this down. First, we'll look at the invisible hardware threat itself, then how it bypasses your security stack. After that, we'll dive into some real-world attack scenarios, talk about why you can't just patch your way out of this with firmware updates, and finally, wrap up with how we actually mitigate these unmanaged hardware risks.
All right, part 1, the invisible hardware threat and the reality of Ring-3. So the Converged Security and Management Engine, the CSME, is not just some software feature you can toggle off. It operates at Ring-3. We're talking about a completely separate microcontroller physically embedded right into the platform. I mean, it's got its own memory, its own clock, and direct network access. It's basically running an entirely independent OS, kind of like a modified Minix, right underneath your host operating system, your Windows or Linux environment. Literally has no idea it even exists.
And because of that, it turns out the foundational trust assumptions we normally rely on in security architecture, they just don't hold up here. You might think, oh, I'll just patch a firmware bug and close the attack surface. Or you think applet isolation is keeping your BitLocker keys safe. Or maybe you assume that flipping the HAP bit actually completely disables the management engine. Well, the documentation proves these are completely false comforts. Look at documented vulnerabilities like CVE 2019-0090. They show us that trust foundations can be extracted across multiple silicon generations in ways the vendor couldn't even patch in the field, which is wild.
Moving on to Section 2, bypassing the security stack and the illusion of network control.
I really want you to ask yourself, do you genuinely trust your endpoint detection, like your EDR, your host firewall? Do you really believe they can see all the network traffic? Because when you look at the actual architecture of vPro platforms, it strongly suggests you absolutely shouldn't. By design, your stack is getting completely bypassed.
This brings us to a concept called inline cohabitation. And honestly, it's pretty crazy. So the CSME actually shares a single MAC and IP address with the host operating system. But inside the network interface card, there's this manageability filter examining every single inbound frame. If it sees specific traffic, it diverts it via a sideband bus straight to the CSME before your host TCP IP stack ever even boots up. Your host firewall sees absolutely zero trace of this intercepted traffic. It's literally like having a hardware-level secret mailroom sitting just inside your network's front door, grabbing packages before the actual security guards even though they arrived. It bypasses your BitLocker full disk encryption, your FIDO2 sign-ins, your corporate VPNs, the whole shebang. If a threat actor is communicating with the CSME, they are flying totally underneath your operating system's radar. Which brings us to Section 3, real-world attack scenarios, the Trojan horse at the gates. Just think about your hardware supply chain for a second. Whether it's a batch of IT-supplied laptops sitting at customs or a BYOD machine someone bought at a retail store. It takes an attacker 30 seconds of physical access, just 30 seconds, to pull off an interdiction. They boot the device to the MEBX menu using a default admin password, inject a hostile Wi-Fi profile, and reseal the box. Boom, done. Now, whenever that user gets near the attacker's Wi-Fi, or hey, even Bluetooth on certain platforms, the device automatically spins up a covert, out-of-band link.
And if you're sitting there wondering, okay, but do threat actors actually use this in the wild? Oh, absolutely, they do. Microsoft actually documented this exact behavior with the Platinum nation-state-aligned actor. These guys use this invisible serial overland channel to completely bypass heavily fortified corporate perimeters. And the kicker, they didn't even burn a zero-day vulnerability to do it. They just needed the AMT feature enabled and the right credentials, and they had total invisible data exfiltration. Okay, Section 4, the firmware update problem, or why you can't just patch it.
72%.
According to industry telemetry, 72% of production fleets were observed to be vulnerable to specific Intel ME advisories literally years after they were publicly disclosed. Years! This basically proves that the idea of keeping firmware perfectly current across a massive enterprise fleet is just, well, it's an aspirational myth.
So why the massive failure rate? Well, you can't just push a CSME update the way you push a normal Windows patch. You are totally at the mercy of the OEMs who gate the availability of those update capsules. You're fighting tools that block downgrades, you've got cross-signed partitions restricting updates, and if you're running a BYOD fleet, forget about it. You have zero IT push authority. The actual user has to go in and actively update their BIOS. As a result, your unmitigated network parsers are just sitting there completely exposed to this never-ending cadence of security advisories. Which leaves us at Section 5, Mitigating Unmanaged Hardware Risks, Actionable Strategies for CISOs.
To actually address this, you need a strictly bifurcated response based on who owns the hardware. If we're talking about IT-supplied hardware, you absolutely have to build an interdiction lab. IT has to intercept the device before it ever reaches the user, disable or lock down AMT, and manually verify the firmware. But for BYOD, you can't physically touch the hardware, so your only real move is enforcing very strict conditional access boundaries. You have to outright refuse high-sensitivity access from BYOD vPro hardware, and force any lower sensitivity access through a VDI, a virtual desktop infrastructure, so the actual corporate data is never being processed on that risky endpoint.
But look, even with all those controls in place, we have to acknowledge the Trojan horse still sitting in the room. If your organization gets targeted by a Tier 3 state-aligned actor capable of supply chain interdiction, a firmware-level implant simply cannot be stopped by a software-only control, period. These hardware implants are just the irreducible cost of doing business with manageability engines.
So I want to leave you with a slightly provocative thought. If you don't fully control the hardware running underneath your operating system, is your corporate access boundary actually strong enough? I really encourage you to take these insights back to your architecture teams, challenge your current network integrity strategies, and maybe spark a hard review of how you procure hardware. Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer. Stay secure out there.